Staring on the barrel of the hot sun, shining with the sheen of a shotgun. Carol has a little if we meet some. Joe has a ride if you wanna come. Hanging your jeans with a clothespin. Skin still wet, still on my skin. Mango in your mouth, juice dripping. Shoulder of your shirt sleeve slipping. Christmas Eve with your mother and sis. Don't wanna fight, but your mother insists. Dog's white teeth slice right through my fist. Drag me to the ER and they put me on a wrist. Grocery store list, now you get pissed. Unchecked calls and messages. I don't wanna be the owner of your fantasy. I just wanna be a part of your family. And I don't wanna talk about anything. I don't wanna talk about anything. I just wanna kiss your eyes again. Witness your eyes looking. And I don't wanna talk about anyone. I don't wanna talk about anyone. I just wanna sleep in your car while you're driving. Lay in your lap when I'm crying. Circle of pine, red oak. Circle of moss and fire smoke. Fan on the ceiling like a wheel spoke. Push the clutch in and pull the choke. I just wanna feel the sound of your blinking. Wanna feel your hands soothe. Listen to your heart beating. Listen to the way you move. Weren't we the stars in heaven? Weren't we the salt in the sea? Dragging in the new warm mountain. Didn't you believe in me? You held me the whole way through. When I couldn't say the words like you, I was scared into going, but I wanted to. Scared into going, but I wanted to. And I don't want to talk about anything. I don't want to talk about anything. I just want to kiss your eyes again. Witness your eyes looking. And I don't want to talk about anyone. I don't want to talk about anyone. I just want to sleep in your car while you're driving. Lay in your lap when I'm crying. All day all I see is you. Hiding from unspoken rules. Fighting for some broken purpose. I'll never be good enough, but I'm dying to be. I've been talking to 45, and I think it agrees with me. It ain't my fault they kicked me my whole life and left me out dysfunctioning. And I wish you would call me back so I can hear you hide the truth. We got something wrong inside, and that's why I'm in love. I can't save you, no matter how hard I try. We're out of time. Too many burnt pages of the stories we'd hide inside. And I can't change you, no matter how far we drive. We can't leave behind the troubles we're trapped inside. You were my whole way of life, the new world, Bonnie and Clyde. And ain't no one can stop us if they try. Every time I try, there's somebody just standing right out there. Why? It's alright. Guess what birthday my boss has? December 11th. And I was telling him about quantum physics and how God is creating this whole thing and we're all a part of it. And he was like, on the fence, until I said my birthday was December 11th. He's like, fuck you. And every time I saw him, he's like, no, fuck you. No way. And he got up and got back to work. He's like, I'm not doing this. That is too much for me today. Because I met him because I wandered up to him. And I was saying that everybody I've met that has the same birthday as me, this 12/11, wanders up and passes out. Everyone I've met that has a 12/11 birthday wanders up to me and passes out. Like they're just fighting through this immeasurable suffering. And they would give out right in front of me. And I have to help them. So now here, I wandered here. And I was just about to give up because I had nowhere to go and nothing to do. When I heard him going, oh, my fucking hip. So far I've made $100. I'm only making like $10 an hour. But I'm also new to everything. But I put this up. I cut the insulation, I cut the whatever it's called, the siding or the liner. I put liner in, put the insulation in. He put the plumb beams, maybe, just the whatever you call the inside between the insulation, the studs. He put the studs in. Then he showed me how to cut this, and then I put the screws in. He built windows, and I caulked all the windows. I washed all the windows. That's pretty much all I've done so far. His company's called the Emerald Isle Company. I just got done with work. So I have to wait for the rain to stop and go back to where I live. And I can't go back to the cabin anymore, so we got it all out and got it in a storage unit. I've just been using AI. I've been making AI videos. And what I've noticed is that it's like gambling. It's a lot like gambling. Where you generate the response and you wait for it. I can't play because every time I do, somebody stands out there and starts talking about, there's a guy up there playing. And I'm fine to hang out for a couple hours after work, but I can't stay here. In the future, though, I'm sure he has many connections. Possibly something could open up. And maybe I could start working with him. He said he worked for a company for 15 years and the foremans were all retiring. So they had to find the new foremans, they had everyone, like all 100 people in the big company, take this test. And he said that the highest scores were 2 of the like 8 foremans, and then him. So he scored better than half of the foremans, or let's say there's 8 foremans. He did better than 5 foremans. So they paid for him to go to school for it, and now he has a degree in carpentry. And he's born on the same day I'm born. Where I live now, none of your beeswax. It's so dumb. But I'm working on ending, or kind of like making homelessness easier for everybody. Coming up with solutions. I realized that it's so dumb that all the people here are not going to make it. We only live to be 100 years. And that's a huge blessing if we can make it to 100. In the last 90, we're not even here. We're just dandelions. I see dandelions when I was 5. I love butterflies. And who are you? And it's the mirror. It's they're staring in a mirror. What are you doing in my house? Get out! Life alert. That's the last 10 years of your life. And I'm like, why are you enforcing so strictly? Like, why are these cops, cunts, creeps, and crows so possessed and attacking people because they don't want to pay rent? What's the big deal? Like, all this land in the country, and if I were to go set up a tent on state land, I'd be arrested. For what? You guys are halfway through your life. A lot of these cops are over 45, so they're over half their life. What's the big deal if I want to set up a tent in the woods? What's the big deal with putting a camper on the parking lots that they paved for COVID that now just sit there closed? There's these giant empty parking lots sitting around the state that they did to administer COVID vaccines. And there's enough homeless people and campers that they're just carting around every day. Every day the police, it's a habit of just going to the camper and saying, oh, you can't be here, you gotta move. And they're like, where the fuck do I move? And they're like, not here. So they move it somewhere else, and then the next day the cops show up and say, you can't be here, next place. And if they don't leave and they don't get a truck to move the camper, if they can't get a ride, they're just taking the campers and crushing them with everything in it. And I'm like, you're not gonna make it to, you're not gonna make it to 90 years old. You have 35 years of your life left, max, and you're giving these people such a hard time. I figure if Vermont's the second smallest population in the country, the only other place is Wyoming. And I'm just not that keen on hanging out in a giant open space with just buffaloes, without a car, without solar panels, or without anything. At least here in Vermont, the view is amazing. I love being in the mountains. I don't want to be, unless it's like Hawaii or Ireland. And I can't go to Ireland because I'm still in court because I bumped into my neighbor in the hallway. Idaho, I heard there's no ass in Idaho. They all look like Groot. Whenever I see pictures of Mormon country, all the girls look like Groot. I'm good. I like my Latina queens that come up from little Puerto Rico and Massachusetts. Thank you very much. It's kind of weird. You go down to Holyoke, and half of them look like the best girls you've seen in your life, and the other half look like stuff you'd see in like a fever dream, sleep paralysis. There's a place in Montana called McManus Gulch. One time I just clicked on Montana and I was like, I want to go up there and I want to build a town with my little brother, John Michael McManus. And then the first place I clicked when I looked at Montana was an abandoned town called McManus Gulch. There's just an abandoned town out there, sitting there, with nobody in it. And I was like, I'm gonna bring him there once. I'm gonna bring him there once I finally get a car and get a job. And now he's dead. No, Wyoming's the smallest state, the smallest population, and then it's Vermont. And I think Montana is not one of the smallest population states. I think there's a lot of people out there. I think it's probably a wide open space, and the people are probably in the cities. So there's probably like a lot of barren land. But I want a car first. I don't want to just take a Greyhound out there yet. I'm 25. I'm going to be 26 in a month from Tuesday. A month from Tuesday, I'll be 26 years old, which means people say that a man's prime for his like greatest achievements is 38. That's when, the only people they mentioned were actors. They said that like Brad Pitt, George Clooney, all the biggest actors for like embodying the pinnacle male archetype for the hero is 38, and then after 38, you're old. I don't know if I don't know if I'm allowed to say if I lost 6 years to trauma, brain injury, and traveling in isolation, homeless. If I lost 6 years and had to slowly age, like now I'm finally just starting to like be able to think normally. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, if I'm allowed to cut myself slack and just say that I'm 21. Because that's where I'm at. I've got the wisdom, the ancient wisdom of a 3,000-year-old, but it was buried in a traumatized 3-year-old child. I'm not looking for a small population state. I'm just looking to make sure I'm on the right track with God, because God is still doing things in my life, and the things are legendary. So I want to make sure that I'm still on the right track with that. Like when I went down to Miami, I'm sure it was a canon event, but it sucked. I tried to send it on Greyhounds to Arizona, Los Angeles, New York, West Virginia. And every time I got there, didn't work out. And there were these huge things where like the people that came to help me turned out to be the ones hurting me. So I'm worried about this guy. He hasn't done anything yet. Maybe, do I have all messages on? Nope. I never do it. In terms of spirituality, it's been different. It's the longest I've hung out with another person in years. I noticed that the false light. So the thing about spirituality is saying that unconscious people become bots, and then their impulses get guided by the dead. So they say things that they don't even realize they're saying because it's not them. They're just kind of spouting off whatever because they're not really capable of holding frame and critically thinking to contribute. It takes a lot of effort. So they end up just falling into the base script where things can just sort of suggest it and then they think it's their own thoughts. And part of that is sort of like trying to magnetize your inner self out of you so that you forget your personal sovereignty so that you can be susceptible to lower vibrational attacks. And I feel like that's true. That's what makes the most sense. At first I was like thinking that I'm in a Truman Show and every single person I see is like a paid actor in a simulation where they're like NPCs running code. But I think it's more like a subversion of their competence, where they don't realize. A good example is that on the full moon, the first night after I worked, and I was supposed to meet him early in the morning, his neighbor, this guy's neighbor, flipped the fuck out and went up to his house with a chainsaw. The next night, he was revving his tractor and screaming. The night after that, he was taking his gun in the middle of the night and firing it off, and he had to go file a restraining order. And that was, I told you guys that that stuff happens as soon as they meet me. Like as soon as people meet me, their life goes insane. Because there's some force attacking us. That happens. Like, one time I hooked up with this girl on the Lionsgate portal in 2022, and we were just talking, and it naturally got spiritual, and I could tell she was right on the precipice of being fully awake. There's a Lionsgate portal, everything was really powerful. And then I got her to the point where she was in this awareness separate from, not separate from God, but aware of God and aware of a greater intelligence at work, their hands guiding everyone. And then at 3 a.m, her neighbor she lived in a duplex, the neighbor next door walked out like this, put his arms up like this, and just kind of walked around, and then wandered back into his house. And he was like, not old, it wouldn't be like a senile old man, and he wasn't on drugs or anything, he was a nurse. He just randomly like walked out, and then like froze when I was like, hit him with the energy. But then the next time I saw her, she said that after I left, a demon approached her at night and told her that karma doesn't work the way we think it does, and that by taking the emotional wealth of the people that she manages at her job and making life hell for her customers, fighting them spiritually, like giving them a hard time to get the energy and pull it and then give it to the demonic force, was actually good. I think she said it was like helping them on their journey because they were supposed to have that interaction. So the demon can't like do things against God's will. It can only tempt, and then you do it. So she thought that she was like issuing karma or something. And then she said the demon moved into her child and it was staring at her and smiled in her newborn son, so she choked it. For that, she had no spiritual things whatsoever. But it turns out, even though she lived 250 miles from me, I had met her several times in my childhood. But I didn't know her, but she knew me. Other instances are like, I'll hang out with people, and then the next day, even if they don't tell anyone they met me, the next day some stranger is coming in and talking crap about me. Or I'll have a personal achievement in my life. And then all of a sudden there's tons of people in my DMs really trying to get my attention. And if that doesn't work, they start causing a lot of drama. Or like I'll suddenly see my name on Facebook and everybody's talking shit. Or sometimes people will just try to kill me. Yeah. I'm barely functioning. I think if I were to throw myself into a city and go back into survival mode, I would regress. At least here, there seems to be some hope of an upward trajectory. But the dream I had last night was really weird. I fell asleep and I woke up in a room I'd never been before, and there was one room and the door was locked on my right side, and then on my left side there was a shower running in the room. So I was like, I want to see who's in the shower. So I got up and walked into the bathroom, and it was identical. It was like the back rooms. It was identical to the liminal space I was just in, but there was somebody standing in the shower. And as I approached, they put their head down, and they were in a hoodie, like a rain jacket, a blue rain jacket, and the hood was down. And then I opened the shower door, and then my face looked out and stared at me, and then I woke up. And the next day, this guy came in and said that he wants to build a shower. So I'm hoping it's not the case that he's like an energy vampire. And I hope that if he is an energy vampire, I hope it's all good in the end. But why do I keep getting put in these situations? Where I end up trapped. Like last winter, in the winter of 2023, the same way my car got stuck, and there was a guy flying a $10,000 drone standing outside the dollar store I was going to ask if they could repair my I was looking for people that could repair my transmission. And there was a guy standing there, and he said, "You met me because of karma. I manifested you." And he was like, I need help because I let somebody pilot my drone and they crashed it into the river. So I was like negative degrees out, walked around this river all night looking for this $10,000 drone and looking over the camera footage to figure out where it was. He said that he would give me $5,000 if I could find it. While I'm at his house with him and his wife, because he used to be like a tech millionaire, they just start smoking crack. And I feel like the worst demonic attack I felt in a while. I had to like fight them off, and they were really trying to steal all of the energy. Like literally, I saw like my hair grew a headdress before I went on this journey and learned about my native side. I saw myself in a headdress, and I saw him ripping at the feathers, trying to put them on himself. And then every time he successfully got it from me, he'd start cackling. And then I'm fighting him spiritually, and then he fucking opens up Chatterbait and whips his dick out and starts jerking off. And he's looking at me like, what are you gonna do about it? You gonna leave? It's freezing out. He didn't say it, but that's the way he looked at me. So I was like, can I go take a shower, man? And he's like, sure. And then he had his assault rifle in his other hand. Come out of the shower, and now he's on Chatterbait or like whatever the jerking off website is where you can go live. And he's live streaming, and he's playing a song, and the song he's playing was the song I was working on in my head. My life is an artist. Your world is my canvas. I got so many things planned, I don't think that you'd understand it. I see us in a mansion, flexing and talking to cameras. You and me in the love of our lives, on the roof dancing. You can call me St. Francis, or you can just call me KC, even if I'm far away, I'm not too far out of reach. There's a really beautiful piano I had come up with in my mind for what I wanted to play, and then I got out. He was playing my song, and I'm like, okay, this is God. None of these people are real. It was all just a prank. So live streaming, I sang my song to all these dudes on Chatterbait that found him live streaming playing the piano. So I sang my song. Everybody was like, actually really a lot more supportive than they are in my comment sections. There's a lot of like, there were some really pretty, like, 18-year-old girls that were just sitting there, like, laying there, and the whole thing is, like, waiting for guys to ask them to do things, and they'd send them money. Life is strange, man. There was a butterfly in here today. And I told him, I said, there's a butterfly in here. And he said, well, he's destined to die either way. So he's not going to make it very long. There was a wasp and a butterfly in here. And I'm like, what the hell? How did a butterfly make it this long? It wasn't a moth, it was a full-on butterfly. Which means it must have been living in here and eating something. It's been surviving in here, eating something. I don't know if butterflies can just survive on water, or what it was eating. Maybe it eats plants. I just wanted to go live for a little bit and rant for content. Thanks for watching, guys.